gone with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode, 401 of the Maritime Paintball Podcast, brought to you live on CHSR 97.9 FM. Very happy to be here. Very happy to be, as far as we know, the only paintball radio show. And I am especially excited because I'm pretty sure I did everything properly. So we shouldn't have any issues. Fingers crossed. So,
I don't believe you.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you.
Believe me?
No, I never do.
Then everyone can hear us. That's the fantastic part about this. So, folks, if you are new, this is the first time you're tuning in, like I said, welcome, Maritime Paintball Podcast. We are basically your local paintball talk show. My name is Brad Odell, and with me, as always, is
your king of paintball. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wonderful to be here tonight. I'm always happy to be hanging out with Brad, and we have the very sexy Rob here tonight to tell us about the most amazing event that you will find in the Maritimes when it comes to fundraising. It's near and dear to my heart, Paintball for Kids. But first, we have to do the shill thing.
that we do. He's checking his internet very quickly so he doesn't sound all robotic on us. I'm not sure if it's my end, his end, or who knows. But I think it might be my end, which is a little disappointing. Once he's good to go, are you good to go? Are we experiencing technical difficulties?
It is definitely not on my end, ladies and gentlemen. It is definitely on Bradley's end because I am connected to the internet here via the hard line.
Okay.
That is terrible.
It is.
We're going to have to sort that one out. But the Maritime Paintball Podcast is brought to you by Commando, D-Day Paintball, D-Day, the Tipman Challenge at the Commando Action Center in Ottawa. We're going to be there very soon, a couple of weeks away, for the best party in paintball in all of Canada. I hear there's going to be mechanical bulls, tattoos, a final battle, a duel. It is just going to be a deadly weekend. Live band, an 80s party. Fantastic. Our also new sponsor, Nova Paintball. The man, the myth, the legend, TJ, sent me something very sexy in the mail. It is absolutely smashing. I got to use it last weekend. I'm a little sad that I'm not going to get to use it this weekend, but I'm going to send it out in the capable hands of our man Brad, and he's going to get to fire the most gorgeous mechanical paintball marker you will ever put in your hands, the Nova, the Hellion N3. Oscillating barrel, made and developed by a real rocket scientist who I'm hoping we can get to talk to one day, because the rocket scientist made this. Why don't you want to try and play with it? Oh, God, something's gone wrong. What is it?
Nothing.
Okay.
Continue. Keep going, man. Keep going. You're on a good roll, man. Roll with it. Roll with it.
I was on a great roll, but I was terrified because I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. So please go to Nova Paintball. Check out what I consider to be the finest mechanical marker on the planet. For bang for your buck, the Hellion is a beautiful marker. I still love my Odin, but I'm a simple man with simple needs. So that's why we have Brad, because he's Lord Fancy Pants around this house. What else have we got?
That I am.
Kat, Canadian Customs, makes the most beautiful headbands. You know you want one. You know you need one. You can find her through my Facebook. She'll fix you up. How could I forget? Home, Moncton Paintball, the Maritime's coolest little field when it comes to close quarters combat. Buses, trains, woods, soon to be a church, which is being erected as we speak. But sadly, you won't get to play there this weekend, this Sunday, because in a move of solidarity for what I've been trying to do for years and getting the Maritime Paintball fields to kind of join forces so that they can all get more eyes on the sport, get more players together. And honestly, it's a business. Everybody's got to make a little money. So Moncton and AXP have both decided they're going to shut down this Sunday, so that they can go to Paintball for Kids, which I think is just a fantastically sweet gesture. Josh is donating a little extra for everybody who is all the Monktonians, all the New Brunswickers that are going. There's smoke grenades being donated. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff that Rob's going to tell us about. But anyways, I'm rambling. Bradley, what have I forgotten?
I don't think you've forgotten anything, man. I think you covered it all. I'm trying to figure out from everyone watching and listening if you're coming through the way I think you're coming through, because I'm pretty sure everyone heard every other word. So we're gonna have to sort that out. We're running into some technical difficulties. Same one we had last time, except it sorted itself out. So I don't know if maybe it'll figure itself out again. Maybe, hopefully, we'll figure. Well, hopefully. But yeah, so our guest of honor, the man, the myth, the legend. We got Robert C. As you can, that's what's his name there. That's what he's tagged himself as, from Paintball for Kids. Has joined us with that magnificent jersey that he is currently wearing, which I don't think there's a brighter jersey on the market.
Well, we actually do have two versions of this jersey. This is the new and updated one, and we did do one for the first couple of years for our more Woods Baller counterparts. That was in a darker camo color, but those jerseys have now been discontinued. If you have one, that was the last run of them.
Oof.
It's so pretty.
It is. It's a fantastic jersey. I love it. So let's do a little bit of background, man. Let's get your background first before we dive into the glory that is Paintball for Kids. I want to know about you. I want to know about your history in the sport. I want to know about your history in the region, that kind of jazz. So hit me with everything you got.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll give you a quick rundown. I didn't plan the whole history here, but basically I started playing paintball back in the early 90s.
You give us the Cliff Notes.
And this is the Cliff Notes version, trust me. I started playing paintball back in the 90s. One of the first fields I actually played with was at SNL Paintball Games. SNL Paintball Games is now one of the longest running fields here in Nova Scotia, if not the longest running field. The first game I ever played was one of their fundraisers they had done for a local church that had had some damage or something like that. And it was my sister's boyfriend at the time invited me along, and I went, and I just kind of fell in love with the sport. And I'm like, yeah, this is a lot of fun. It's a great cause. It's a great field. Vic was a good guy, though maybe back in the day there. I'm sorry, Vic. I'm going to spill the beans, though. You came off a touch cranky because of us turd head kids that were down there ruining all your times. But no, seriously, it was a family-run business. It really hit home. It really drove my passion for paintball. And then just from there, I kind of expanded out, started visiting other fields, started tinkering with repairing paintball markers. Got my airSmith license there at one point. I even took these skills into some past jobs that I had. I used to work with Department of Justice, and I became the provincial armorer for the pepperball launchers in the area. And yeah, I just kind of kept building off it. And then once upon a time, Vic and I were sitting around his field just doing some repairs, because Vic and I had developed a rapport at this point. And we were talking about how we always wanted to do an event to support kids, or basically a big game in general, but really wanted it to tailor it towards kids, because kids are kind of the lifeblood of any new sport that's coming up. And I mean, we got to get these folks involved so that the sports survive and get them interested and show them that it's not that bad and that's a ton of fun. They can have a lot of good times. And once again, we just kind of got chit chat, and we're like, it'd be really cool if we could do a big game and make a whole bunch of donations to the IWK. My brother basically grew up at the IWK until he was 19. I think all three of Vic's kids ended up at the IWK at one point. His grandkids, a lot of them have now been to the IWK. My youngest daughter, she's been to the IWK. So it's not a stretch to say, either personally or by extension, anybody on the East Coast probably knows about the IWK and the services they provide for children. And not only children, women too. Like I don't mean to narrow it down to there, but that was our thoughts for the entire event. And then I just kind of ran with it one spring. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a few phone calls. I have enough connections in the paintball world now. I got a reseller account on a few companies. Let's see what we can throw together. And the first Paintball for Kids was born in October of 2013.
Beautiful.
2013.
Yeah.
It's been going for a while.
We have been
Has it
going.
really been
This is
that
the
long?
12th annual. So yeah, we've been running for 12 years running now. We've donated over $30,000 to the IWK. We've had some really great turnouts, upwards of 130 players at one point. COVID kind of stumbled us. I'm not going to lie. We're kind of on that up ramping.
COVID stumbled a lot of people, though.
But that Actually, fun story on COVID. We planned to cancel the event for 2 years in there due to COVID. And we're just like, I'm sorry, folks, we can't get people out there. There's nothing we can do. The paintball community came together as a whole, and we still made donations to the IWK. A couple people just wanted to donate. They just wanted to give to the cause. I mean, it is amazing to see how the paintball community has come around this event and really supported it so that we can give, to a hospital that basically east of Ontario is unmatched when it comes to these things.
For sure. The IWK took care of my niece, took care of one of my nephews. It is a great charity to be working for. And yes, it does take care of women, but we all know when anybody from the Maritimes, when we're talking about the IWK in Halifax, 99% of us are going to go, kid. The Ronald McDonald House is a wonderful charity down there as well. My first one was 2021, was my first Paintball for Kids, and that was that dragging myself up that hill. I heard
Hamburger Hill, yeah. A lot of people
like that hill, man.
Fire-based Rex is now up there.
What's that?
There's a new whole trench system that Vic put in there last year. I don't know if you were down here last year or not, but there's a whole new fire trench system, Fire-based Rex. We have some drone footage off it. It's quite the unit up there now. The hill's been cleared off a little bit more. It's a little easier for us older, huskier guys to waddle up it now.
Yeah, it was. I've made the joke, and I've told Vic more than once, I will go up that hill once. I'll stay up there and I'll fight to the last man, but I am not climbing that hill twice. I think I did it 3 times the first year, and that was stupid. Twice the second year, and that was stupid. Third year, I was like, all right, once. And yeah, Vic is wonderful. He cracks me right up. I love that you guys make sure that the kids are working. Every time I've gone up, the kids were hustling hamburgers, and I laugh every time because we kept trying to tip them. I think it was their mom's just like, no tip, and we're standing there going, but there's
yes, I remember that.
Oh, it just warmed my heart because my parents put me to work like that. So,
yeah. And as I mentioned, SNL is a family-run business. Like Vic started it back. The SNL stands for Vic's 3 Kids. So Sarah, Leah, and Nathan. That's where the name came from. So it's literally a business he started because, and hopefully I got this right. I know Vic and I have talked about this 100 times. So I'm sure I'm going to forget something. Anyway, he started it because Nathan wanted to play and didn't really have anywhere to play and wanted to start a team and start doing a little, getting more into it. So there was nowhere truly around that really did it except maybe Sergeant Splatters, which was on the other end of the province for Vic. And he's like, okay, well, I'm semi-retired now. I'm going to start a paintball field. And it evolved into what SNL is today. I mean, even if you're
telling me that SNL Paintball
named after. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say SNL Paintball is the result of a bored man.
Yeah,
he's
more or less. And if you ask
like,
Vic, he does it for his passion.
Yes, which I mean, I love that, but at the same time, like, I feel bad. Some of these guys kind of work their hands to the bone, and it's like, oh, we do it for the passion. Well, you could make a couple bucks too, but that's another argument.
And I think you wouldn't be the first person to mention that to Vic, and even I've mentioned that to him, and he still goes with, you know what? I do it out of passion. He hopes his words. All I hope is I break even every year, which is amazing for a guy that's running a business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
very much so.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a great field. That hill, huge investment. Like, there's not many paintball fields out there that will go and just remake the landscape. Like, that's not just a matter of like, oh, we're going to dig a couple trenches. That thing's a full structure. We're talking reinforced trenches with lumber, with wood that they cut right from the woods there. It's an amazing feat that they did. And then he's updated the staging area a couple of times. I know I've been there, and his staging area is not the standard like picnic table out in the open and I hope it doesn't rain kind of situation. It's covered. You can get away from the sun. I
love the cubbies. I thought that was right? Everybody has like their individual cubby. You put your gear. It's very communal. It's like a bench.
It's
Ladies and
it's
gentlemen, if you
communal.
are on the radio and I'm choppy, I'm really
No,
sorry.
everything's cleared up now. It's almost like the system needs to warm up, and it takes exactly 13 minutes to do it.
Are you serious? This is
So
awesome.
Suddenly the connection just cleaned up like that. You're coming in crystal clear. Everybody's happy. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because I turned a certain way, but the
I'll take it.
system just
Because Cameron's right. Vic's place has that charm. It is not a walk-on place. I don't imagine people just wander out there on a Sunday to play. But if you get a good gang, you're going to have a ball. Because, again, the little cubbies, it's very old school with the scuba tanks, which I love. I don't know why. I'm a sicko.
Doesn't he have a compressor on site?
I was about to say that whole air system's actually been upgraded for this year. We're now rocking 4 4,500 tanks, 2 compressors, and I think Vic has about 8 to 12 scubas. So you got both systems in there in play.
Oh my
Fun
God.
story. This sums up the paintball community. If anybody out there listening is thinking, hey, these guys are kind of cool. I kind of want to learn how to play paintball. I want to go play paintball. This is the mentality of the majority of paintball players. Was it last year or the year before? I forget. We went to Paintball for Kids. We get there. It's a little rainy. It's not bad. It's like it's a drizzle, right?
It's
whatever.
always like that for Paintball for Kids.
It's always a drizzle.
Every year.
Deal with it. Go out, play paintball. And we get there, and we're all geared up. We're ready to go. You did the whole like shake hands, kiss babies things, did the announcements, all that jazz. And then Vic comes out and he goes, the compressor's broke. I have enough air for you guys to maybe play 1 or 2 games. So we're just going to refund everybody's money. And there was like 6 or 7 of us just went like, hell you will. We're not taking the money back. We're going to go play 2 games, put the burgers on the grill. We're having an early lunch.
And then through the miracle of Rob and Vic and everybody, because nobody welched and bailed, everything turned out fine.
Well, somebody rolled up with a compressor, didn't they? Like somebody showed up with one on the back of a truck.
Was
it
I got another one? Yeah, I found another one and got it to the event, and that's the one Vic now has as a second one. So,
right,
it is a blessed.
So that just goes to show it's not just helping each other out. We will bend over backwards for a field owner and an event organizer who takes care of the player. Even the refs, I kind of got. I mean, this was years ago. I didn't get mouthy with the refs like I have in the past, but we were having a rough go. The wind was strong. The wind was very, very strong. So whichever team, remember that year?
Yeah, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
And so you'd shoot into the wind, and the ball would basically come back at you. The wind was that strong, or you'd shoot, and the ball would just go.
I remember
made it really
that.
rough. And I kept telling the refs, I'm like, you gotta turn it 90 degrees. Turn it 90 degrees. Nobody's having fun right now. Turn it 90 degrees. And you could tell everyone was kind of cranky. They were like, if you're on this side, you're going to win. If you're on this side, you're going to lose. And then they turned the field 90 degrees, and it was either your ball went hard left or hard right, but it was equal. And then everybody had a great time. So the refs were receptive. The field organizers, fantastic. Vic's a great dude. The kids were great when they were trying to serve burgers. Like Tom said, we were trying to tip them there, and we're getting yelled at by their mom, which was funny.
It was awesome. And they were good burgers. And I'm not even blowing smoke, man.
They were
good burgers. The food was excellent. You don't expect that
burgers.
a lot of times. We've been really lucky at Moncton. Mama Kay brings that food truck and feeds all of us. Paintball for Kids. Food's always good. It's wherever I go, it appears that the food is delicious. I seem to be picking Paintball for Kids, Commando. Okay, sorry, Honey Badger we didn't really eat.
I had a pre-workout and discovered that I'm hypersensitive to it and I can't do them because my skin went on fire. The butter tarts.
Butter tarts. So, that's right.
Now I'm sad because we're never going back to PRZ, which means we're never going back to Belleville. Which means I'll never get the Belleville butter tarts.
Somebody's got to be coming from Belleville for Commando. Bring us butter tarts. Belleville boys.
Gator can do it.
Gator.
Steve Gator, if you're in the chat, we're putting in an order for butter tarts.
Somebody please message Gator and tell him we will pay for hunting for butter tarts. I will trade things for butter tarts.
Things.
Nightmare? Are you in Belleville?
He's in Trenton.
Is that far from Belleville? Everything's an hour and a half from Toronto.
I don't know the layout of Ontario.
We're
Ontario is
Maritimers.
way bigger than I remember. Like I always think Ontario is Toronto. And it's
Give
like,
us a
actually,
distance.
no,
Is it
Ontario
Moncton to
takes, like,
Fredericton, Moncton to Edmundston?
it's
Span of time there, like
north to
Gagetown.
south. I don't, right?
It's the next city
City
over. Okay, you know what, Bradley? I will pay the price.
What price? I'm putting an order in.
I'm
What
putting
do
an
you think
order
I'm
in
typing
too.
away on?
Oh, good. You're putting the order in, then I don't have to give him back his armband.
Yeah, we're definitely putting an order in for butter tarts. We'll have to make it a triple order though because we're at D-Day for 2 days.
Man, those things are so good.
Oh, they were so good.
So stupid how good they are.
That was the highlight of the Honey Badger trip. It didn't matter how bad the game went or how bad the day was. We got back to the hotel and we're like, oh, we have butter tarts from yesterday.
Barbecue chicken pizza, butter tarts that you heated up on the dash of the truck or the dash of your car on the way home because they were.
Yes.
Yeah, it's right here, buddy. It's right here. Come and get it. You come find
We'll trade it for butter tarts.
or bum squeezes.
Or bum squeezes. So, Rob, I want to talk. Let's talk a little bit more paintball for kids because it originally was like there used to be a lot more kids at paintball for kids, wasn't there? I do remember a lot more younger players.
We had years where there's been lots of kids, and we have years when it's just the core players. And now we are starting to ramp back up. We are getting more younger kids back in. A lot of us older folks are having kids that are now hitting the age that we can drag into paintball. But
I can't wait. Mine's
like
still like 16 years away.
It was like so. Like I said, the first one was in 2013. There was nobody under the age of probably 18 at that event. But then about 2019, I think, is when we really hit our stride. That was our year right before COVID. We had 132 people there. There was all kinds of kids. That's probably the one you're thinking of there, Brad. And I mean, yeah, we had a lot of kids. But then after COVID happened, a lot of the younger generation were still a little hesitant to get out to these mass events. It was only us, hardcore guys that were still running out there. And we're like, we don't care. We'll get sick. We just want to go play paintball.
It's basically, if I don't play paintball, I will be sick. That's the problem.
We get sick one way or another. That's what a lot of our problems were.
Yeah,
it was. It did take a little while. That first year back was my first year, and it was, by all reports, was pretty quiet. But the next couple of years, it did build back up. Like people are definitely starting to come back out.
It's unfortunate, but there was a lull that was exacerbated by a certain situation that eventually dealt with itself. We're not going to go into the details of that, but it's amazing how much damage one person can do. Rob knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, I remember.
And those of you just tuning in who happen to be hanging out at 97.9 FM CHSR in Fredericton, welcome to the Maritime Paintball Podcast. I have wanted to do that for so long, and I can't believe that I still get to do it. It'll never get old.
And we definitely don't practice that in the car. No.
And we are definitely.
Why did your camera suddenly get very dark?
I don't want to talk about it. It's been a while since I touched the old mouse keys, so.
Are you telling me that your key light is literally your TV?
Yeah,
that's amazing. I love that ingenuity.
It works really well.
I mean, you do what you got to do, apparently.
Absolutely.
Really
So, Rob,
annoying.
do we? Not to cut Tom off, but do you know if there's going to be a lot of kids at Paintball for Kids this year?
There's going to be some this year. I know of a handful that are coming for sure. I have been trying to stress back out to the younger generation to come. There is a couple that have just turned the age that they're allowed to start playing paintball that's going to show up this year. So we're going to kind of make a little bit of a deal about those folks there. We're going to try and get them a good time. Once again, this is introducing the next generation into paintball. So we're trying to get the younger generations coming back and back and back. It is a slow process, but we're hoping there's going to be more. This year is shaping up, knock on wood, hopefully to be one of the better years since COVID. Like we had a real good year and then we kind of dropped again. And now we had this little incline, but this year really seems like everything's coming together. Much like you folks have been saying there, a couple of the fields in your neck of the woods, they're supporting us. This is the first year where we've had other fields that are like, you know what? we like what you're doing. We're going to do something to support that. So there's actually 3 fields that's joined onto that. That's the Atlantic Outdoor Rec Center, Moncton Paintball, and Atlantic Extreme Paintball. And each of them are kind of doing their own thing separate from just shutting down for the day and sending the stuff our way, and hopefully sending a few younger folks our way as well. Like you said, everything from Josh there, he's doing some extra stuff where he's making some donations and he's going to match some money for the people that are coming. Atlantic Extreme Paintball, they're going to let you use your paint the next day. You and I were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, that's basically unheard of.
Sorry?
It's unheard of.
Yeah, and I mean, that just doesn't normally happen with fields. Normally, they're not enemies, but it's a business. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to run a business. It's usually my paint, my field, no problem. But some of these fields are coming on now being like, you know what? It's a Paintball for Kids event. We're trying to support this. You take any leftover paint to our field the next day, you can use it. And Atlantic Extreme Paintball is even going as far as to say, we'll even waive the field fee for you. You can just come play.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a class act. I have no idea why my I don't know what it looks like now. I cannot get back to my actual desktop. So I'm running blind now. So I don't know what it looks like for the people watching. And God, I hope you're not watching this podcast. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about it.
You know what? Let me tell you right now. Your camera is great for radio.
At least I'm not even going to say that. Yeah, your camera's great for radio.
I don't even care.
If you're watching, we can say that now because we're officially on the radio.
If you're watching live on Facebook, I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to start spreading democracy and continuing our conversation, because if I can't see anything, I got to do something with my hands, and best thing I can do is smash the automaton.
So one of the comments just pops in on the live chat here, and that is why Atlantic Extreme is Bay. What is Bay? Am I too old to know what is Bay?
I don't know. Charles is a heck of a guy, though, so that's wicked. Aaron, fantastic fella too, and Josh.
And so just to be totally clear, so in case anyone was wondering, like those 3 fields doing great work. They're like you said, allowing you to bring your paint to their field, which is basically saying like that's going to McDonald's and bringing your own food. They're also shutting their fields down for the day.
Yeah. And
going to Paintball for Kids.
Yes, all 3 are sending teams down.
Which is amazing. Yep. We have 3 very large fields basically saying, okay, we're going to, like, this is not a regular event. Paintball for Kids is not just a quote-unquote event or big game. It's a charity event for the IWK Children's Hospital. It's important. And these fields have recognized that and said, okay, you know what? This is a day where we're going to shut down, and we're going to support this because, let's be honest, and this sounds cruel, but if your field cannot handle shutting down for one day in May, your field's
you might be in some trouble there.
You
got to fix some stuff. Is what I'm saying. You got to fix some stuff.
So can I tell a little funny story about the whole May thing?
Absolutely.
So the reason we're in May is because when we first started this event, we had the first one in October, and we were competing with other larger games at the time. And we kind of get together. There was this unspoken rule, and I'm sure you folks know what I'm talking about. You've been involved in big games yourselves, that you try not to step on other people's big games. You know what I mean? Don't hold a big game when somebody else is holding a big game. It just takes from the whole thing. So we went through everything, and the only real date that was still available was like either the end of April or the end of May. And we're like, well, you know, Mersey Road has Black Friday. We're not going to take anything away from them. So I guess we'll go with the end of May. And I mean, there's been complications with that, as most people have realized. It pretty much is always drizzly to some degree. I think in the 12 years we've been doing this, I can remember 2 sunny days, and one was that windy. Like you said, the ball was chasing you back. So it is one of those things. People come out for the passion and the love of the sport, and it's just so amazing. This grew from the very first game of only having 20 people. That's including staff, to our best game having over 150, including staff.
Amazing. And you know what? I like a little drizzle. I like when it's not 30 plus degrees out and bone dry, and I am very pale. So like, I like pasty. When I go and I don't have to worry about, I'm very pasty. I don't have to burn to play paintball. I can just go. It's great. And I'm not drenched in sweat. It's comfy for me. I like that. I've played in rainstorms. I played in a blizzard once. That was fun. That was hard, but it was fun.
This water tastes so good, Bradley.
I hate you so much right now.
Mine's not bad either.
They're making fun of me because I
good
can't
for
drink.
radio.
I can't have food or drink in the studio because I can't afford any of this.
Somebody screwed up is what happened, and then somebody went and screwed up again and upset Boss Lady because the notes are getting increasingly aggressive in our studio about not eating.
Yeah, there's a very clear sign back here that says, "What part of no food and drink in the studio did you fail to understand?"
So whoever spilt the Mountain Dew on the board, there is a German suplex coming with your name on it. It's nothing personal.
I don't
Poor
see
Bradley
any-
can't have water.
I just want water.
I don't see any. I thought you were going to say I don't see any Mountain Dew bottles in here.
No, I also don't see any stains or anything. So I'm guessing somebody probably just left a bottle or something and was like,
Oh, they just didn't clean up their evidence.
They got
Fools.
caught.
"That's 100% it. It's 100% it." Yeah. So like I was saying, those fields, shout out to them for closing down. Big ups, you know what I mean? And to any field that has decided to stay open, you do you, bud.
It's all good, buddy.
There's no hard feelings. Like it is a business.
No.
I don't expect anyone to lose money, but for those that are supporting the event 100%, like my hat's off to you folks. You're doing amazing work. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So now we have to address the elephant in the room because I've complained about this every year. You know what I'm going to complain about?
Go for it.
Do we have to shoot 260? Can we please have 280? Give me 275.
You have to contend with Vic on that one. My standpoint has always been Vic's field rules is what I play the event at. The reason that it was originally down to 260 was because we were trying to introduce a lot of the younger generation in there. I can't say anything on this because my personal opinion conflicts with what the rules are. So all I'm going to say is you're going to have to contend with Vic on that one. Whatever he picks, I will 100% support and back.
I understand.
As you should. Now, what my question is what can Vic be bribed with? He's
Guy
not
likes
listening
coffee.
to the show. Coffee, everybody.
Loves coffee.
I don't want just everybody bringing a single Timmy's. What do you drink? Dub black.
I think he
'Cause
drinks
he's old.
black with sugar.
He's an old fella though. He definitely drinks it black. I don't say that like a derogatory thing. It's just all old dudes drink their coffee jet black.
He's got that like old pickled maritimer drinks black with sugar.
All right,
you know
guys.
what I mean? Like it's either that or tea.
Sadly, I won't be there due to an unfortunate little event. So I am commissioning, please, everybody bring good coffee. That's all you got to do. Just bring some Fancy Dan coffee. I don't care what it is. If it's something you brewed at home, just everybody bring a pot of black coffee and a bag of sugar for Vic. And maybe y'all be able to shoot 280 or at least 275. Because I understand. I've done it, but if you're running an A5, it's not hard to get that sucker down to
This
2.
is my problem. Once again, Vic, I 100% support whatever you say, but this is the
yeah,
valid
absolutely.
argument right there. Anybody with like a double air system with a cyclone feed, even some instack blowbacks, they don't function so great at that low of feet per second.
I also find paintballs hurt more at 260.
Well, yeah, it's the initial impact inertia that actually blows up the ball. So, well, you know yourself, if you get a bounce, it stings like a bugger.
Yeah. Yeah, bounces hurt more. Like if I flinch and go down hard, it's because it bounced.
Yeah,
like
generally.
Yeah. Yeah. So 280 be nice. I'll play by the rules. I'll do 260 if I got a 260.
Everybody will, because
all I
they'll
can tell
be
you, folks,
beating
is
the
I'm
ball if they
advocating,
don't.
but I do what Vic says. His field, he is gracious enough to donate it 100% free of charge. Gives me a smoking deal on paint, like below cost. He loses money on paint, folks. Everybody has to realize this. Vic puts out of his own pocket for this event. He makes $0 this entire day. He ties up his field, his compressors, his air systems. He's running all the risks of anything going down, and he still loses money on this day. So if Vic tells me everybody's going to run at 200, Robert's going to be up on back of the truck saying, okay, folks, this year we're running 200. You may want a slingshot instead, but here we go. You know what I mean?
I'm going to just start throwing them. Eli's got a great comment on this.
I support that though. That's good. You should be backing Vic on this one. He's a very
Absolutely. Eli's even
very scary
saying
man to let him be.
a good producer works with the field owner. Otherwise, they probably aren't running an event there next time. Absolutely.
Well,
that
100%. But like I said, Vic's request is not unreasonable. If it was lower, I would consider it unreasonable. It's borderline. You know what I mean? And
it's definitely the lowest I'd comfortably go.
He used to run 300 feet a second. But here's the problem, and here's Vic's mindset behind some of this. A lot of the guns now, or markers, sorry, folks, you can turn them up without needing any tools. So you can walk onto the field, and it's easy. Not that people are doing it maliciously, though we do know some of those people are out there. But it's easy for a lot of the... I'm not going to say a lot. Some markers to accidentally get turned up on the field. And he always wants a level of variance on that. And that's one of his big worries. He had a couple bad injuries on the field that were caused by over-chronoed guns. And I think that kind of still haunts him a little bit.
That's fair.
I never knew that. And again, not really any of my darn business, but that does kind of track and make really good sense. So
Well, and there's
I can't really poo-poo on that.
There's so many variables that go into that too, especially back in the day before, like a lot of the new stuff now have really great internal regulators so that they're always at, like my Mini when it was operating was always at an operating pressure of like 200 PSI or something was inside of it, like at all times. But some of the older stuff, before they had those internal regs, it was just whatever the CO2 coming out of the tank or the HPA coming out of the tank was, that's what the marker took. It had some mechanical ways of adjusting it by the size of the hole that the air got through to limit the amount of air. But if you left that out in the sun for 10 minutes, that expanded inside. And those first shots were always hot.
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Like literally, that's why we call it hot. It was shooting hot. It was hot air. Like, you know,
better yet, like if we're talking CO2 days, liquid CO2 could get into the chamber and then it would overexpand in that chamber. And then you would have like a double hot shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it would be so much.
Them blow through plywood.
Yep. Yeah, because it would expand to the point where you had, like you said, you had so much pressure built up inside that even after you fired the shot, it would refill with just under that pressure that it was at because the tank is now refilling back into that chamber. Or you could have vice versa where you had liquid CO2 make its way into the marker and everything just froze solid.
Exactly. And a lot of these fears that Vic has is founded in those prior days. But once again, he has valid reasons. And we follow him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If we can't have 280, then we can't have 280. No big deal. We'll just set the markers to 260 and just get a little bit closer to each other.
See, that's kind of where
like I said, these are all valid reasons, and we are
too.
working. Hopefully, we are going to get that up because, as you folks said, the markers nowadays are just better. And frankly, more people have better markers. Keep in mind, Vic is one of the older fields, and he had a lot of the older generation still showing up with like their old tracers and war pigs and splat masters, and you know what I mean? Like these
were
the
Black Max that I rocked last year.
That thing is
was it
awesome.
Last year? Was it the Black Max last year or the year before?
The Black Max that I handed out to you?
Yeah, which is still in my gear bag.
Yeah, that was a Black Max. Those things are notorious for blowing up, by the way, man. You're still taking your life in your hands.
Dude, I clapped 11 guys on the field with that thing. Like,
when they shot good. Problem is, bolt may blow out of them either forward or backwards.
That's fine. It's a risk I'm willing to take.
I love that Kevin had the elbow for that just in his bag.
That was amazing.
We need the elbow for the hopper to fit. I have that. In true, first of all, old school paintball tradition of having every part possible in your bag, to SNL having a Black Max hanging around and having it function. It just...
So that was one of my old hobbies, was I went and got all of old Vic's guns up and running again, and that Black Max was the last one that I had working. Because we blew all the rest of them up. We had a couple tracers and a few other things. Like we had a couple SL68s. I have a solid brass SL68 sitting out in my garage from like the late 80s. The thing weighs 30 pounds. But you talk about something that shoots smooth.
I was going to say, that has to shoot.
That was like back in the day when you got to decide what kind, like, did you want your marker made with mahogany or oak? Like, it was
that's pretty much it. Paint size, big thing changing on paint size. Like 0.93 used to be the standard back when I was playing, and that's underboard. Now I have like a 0.86 insert in my ego, and paint still rolls out of it sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
Yep. That's
Shrinkflation,
why,
damn it.
yes, that's why the old Gamma Core mags for the Milsim, the Milsigs, the round collar ones now are almost perfect because the average paintball size has dropped enough that those collars don't fetch up anymore. It's only taken 10 years, but now they're viable. And I'm starting to, Eric had mentioned it to me a while ago, but now I'm starting to see it online. I'm starting to see people really looking for those old Milsim mags, and I'm thinking maybe that's what's happened. It's hilarious because the Milsig.
So all it took was 10 years for the paintball companies to actually reduce the size of the paintball because they were trying to save money, for the shoddy build quality of the Milsigs to suddenly become a selling feature?
Well, when you say it like that,
everything comes around, man.
I've never liked Milsigs. I've had them. I've owned them. I didn't like them. They're not my thing. And I always give them the gears.
My first MagFed mistake
was buying a K series Milsig.
Yeah.
I had one. I had an M17, and then I got rid of it, and I bought a 468, and then I got rid of it, and then I bought a. I don't remember what I bought after that, but I do remember that the TGR2 never left. It's still here. Both of them are, luckily. So, yeah.
I like your TGR2. That thing's a smooth. That thing's smooth.
Love the TGR2. I can field strip that thing in the middle of a firefight. It's fantastic.
That's impressive.
So what kind of games are we going to be rocking out at
So we got a couple of games lined up there. Eric from ATO, he's bringing down some props for us. We're going to have some domination. We have the button game going again. Unfortunately, John, as a lot of the paintball community knows, is no longer with us. He used to do the GPS case, and now there's nobody left alive that knows how to run it. So
that thing was otherworldly.
That thing was amazing.
Fun story, not fun story. What's the right word? Story. Interesting. Was there is a Discord. There is a Maritime Paintball Podcast Discord, and John was quite active in it. And I developed him and oh my God, I've forgotten his name. Elise's husband,
Jacob.
Thank you. Wow, I can't believe I forgot Jacob's name.
Jacob is so nice that I doubt he will, but you definitely deserve to be punched in the nards for that.
He's gonna forgive me. He has
of course
to.
He will.
So I set up a channel on my Discord called Skunkworks for John and Jacob to talk and discuss technical stuff. And it's still there. Like, it's all still there.
I wondered what that was. I never really looked through it.
Yeah. So if you go back through it, it's very bittersweet because you can see them talking about stuff and then it just stops.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so
I still got my messages from John too, and it's kind of just deadheaded like that. I was working on a VL68 with him, and this is the worst part. Another kind of morbid but interesting story. He came to me with this VL68 that was a buddy of his. He couldn't get it working. He gave it to me. I had to find parts out of the States. I had to have the shear milled from a company, and I got all these parts together, and the part kit is still sitting over on my thing here. We never managed to meet up for him to get it. And I've had offers for people to buy it for like $300 because they're basically hen's teeth. You can't find them, and I cannot bring myself to sell it. It will sit there until the end of time under the picture with him. So I just, that's where it belongs now. So
and just a shout out to that man that I remember. It was actually a Paintball for Kids that he came in late. He was there. I think we all got there about like 9-10 o'clock, and then he showed up around 1 or 2, and we were like, "Hey, you made it." He's like, "Yeah, I just came from dialysis." Like the man had dialysis done, and then like half an hour later, he was on a paintball field.
Yeah,
that man was monster.
He was a stoic guy, man. Like, you never seen a whole lot of negative on his face. He was just an amazing individual. But I digress. If you guys don't mind, I got a couple things about the event I'd like to say just before I forget. More than anything,
no, absolutely not.
Anybody that's out there listening that may be coming to the event, I've had a lot of questions. I figured I'd just answer them all up really quickly.
Let's go for it.
Go.
Don't even
So
quick to
everybody's
take
been
time.
asking if we're
Elaborate.
going to have old cash only at the field. It's cash, debit, and credit. We have a square reader. You can bring plastic, cash, doesn't matter. We got you covered. People have been asking me about the drinks. We're going to have Powerade Pop. This year I have bought one case and only one case of Monster Energy drink for people that want it there. It's been requested for 5 years now. I will not be selling to anyone under the age of 16 is the only stipulation on that. And that's just to cover my own backside on that. If a parent buys it, gives it to the kids, that's outside of me. But me, I think there's only 12 or 24 in the case, and that's all there is. I'm not a big pusher of energy drinks, but once again, the community wanted them. There's enough demand for them. I'm bringing one case in. The barbecue's, of course, going to be back. There's going to be burgers, sausage, hot dogs, chips, chocolate bars. There's going to be water, Powerade, maybe some other stuff, maybe not. That's yet to be seen. Prize-wise, we do have a couple companies that are coming on this year. So Team ATO, once again, for the third year running, I told you before, Brad, but I went back and checked this. Third year running, Team ATO, Atlantic Tactical Outlaws, have donated the main draw prize. This year it is a TMC and a grill mask. Nice design on the grill mask, too. It's the old flame style. You can still find them, but they're not as popular. They are a little trickier to find. So that's valued, I think, when I priced it, it was over $500 or $600 now. So great draw prize coming in there. A couple other companies kicked in this year. So we got the patch panel. Looks like those folks sent like over $1,000 worth of patches. Eric just got it, sent me the pictures. I sent them to you there, Brad. Like there is a massive amount of patches and stickers and a few other nods and ends in there. It's like they amazingly stepped up this year. Ripple Industries, Tom over there, once again, amazing fall. He reached out. He's sending some hydration packs. I think there's a tactical vest coming over and a few other little odds and ends. Ginger Dynamics, they're sending over a custom hopper cover and some sort of mash shroud. I do have the pictures there. I think I sent them to you, Brad. I'm not super familiar with that stuff. I'm too old school.
I've never heard of them.
But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. There's going to be a draw for them. They may have to be shipped to the person because for some reason they got hung up in customs. And now it's is it going to make it in time or is it going to be there on Monday? That's how close it is right now. But yeah, there's tons of great stuff coming in. We got Shirkin Photography. She's coming back again this year, hopefully, bar something coming up. She's going to be doing a lot of the photography there on the field. I mean, you guys know, you've seen her work. She takes amazing photos. So she's a girl that's not scared to get in there either. Like some photographers, they're always back behind the tape and they're just in there clicking. You get these faraway shots. Not her. She's like bam, right up into you. You get some amazing action shots with this girl.
Half the time I have to tell Elise to get out of the way.
Yeah, you gotta.
And that's the thing. Like she has zero fear. Paintballer herself. So she's good stuff. And she gets right in there. We got a couple of drones coming this year, so there's going to be some stuff.
Don't shoot the drones.
Don't shoot my drone. Don't shoot Ian's drone. There might be 2 other drones coming too, depending on how many show up. They may be worked into a game. No promises, but we have ideas. There's going to be some neat stuff this year. Like I said, this was the year that it just seems like everything clicked. I'm not going to lie. Funny story. It's up till 2 weeks ago, I'm like, it's going to be a slow year. You know what I mean? I think maybe Paintball for Kids is on the downcline. I think people are starting to move their interests because pre-registrations were down. There wasn't a lot of talk. I was pushing it, wasn't getting a lot of feedback. Then all of a sudden it was like, bam, a switch flicked. And then on Monday morning, I woke up and I had 100 messages. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the heck's going on here? I got to try and sort this stuff out. And it's been going up from there. It's been great. Like it was Charles reached out to me and the Josh reached out to me and Eric with Atlantica there reached out to me and a couple other fields reached out to me, which we're still talking right now. And then companies started reaching out to me and I'm like, holy crap. Okay. This got real big, real fast. And I got to actually sit down and start handling my business. You know what I mean? Cause I went from, it's going to be like a 30, 40 year person year to this could be very entertaining for people. And we have a ton of prizes, so great chances for pretty much a lot of people out there to get something. And there may be even some prizes I haven't mentioned yet, simply because I'm still trying to work to make sure they're coming. So the idea is there may be a few larger prizes that may be for additional draws. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You may see when you get there.
Very cool. It's
go.
I wonder if it's the weather, because honestly, it felt like we didn't really get a spring. It was kind of like winter, 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 and then it was like mild winter, and then suddenly it was 30 degrees today. So I'm wondering if it just kind of like all the snow melted away. Everyone woke up one morning and was like, "Oh, it's actually really nice this morning." Paintball. And like,
maybe so. Like I don't know what the magic was, but I am super grateful for it in all honesty. Like it's really shaping up to be a good year. All my volunteers and staff are coming back. They're working super hard about it. Like you said, the barbecue is going to be up and running. Vic's grandkids and kids are going to be coming out. I mean, there's going to be a good show up. The only thing this year, unfortunately, we are not going to have an IWK rep. We were supposed to. Staffing. We got bumped. That's what it came down to. They don't have enough staff. There's a massive short staff at staff shortage. Sorry, dyslexia. Kicking in at the IWK, and they just didn't have somebody that they could send out. They had multiple people wanting to come out, but they had to be redistributed other places, unfortunately. And they were super good about it. Don't hate the IWK for this. They were super good about it, super apologetic. They're like, "We're sorry, guys. We just do not have the staff." And of course, I was like, "It's fine. We're paintballers. Like, we're there to have fun, support the kids. This is not about somebody coming out and being like, look at us. Look what we're doing for you." It's never been about that. And
we're here to give you money because we want to give you money. Whether you're here to collect it or not, you're still going to get it. You're still going to get your end. Like, goodness, we can't have that.
Well, no, they were super like, "Oh gosh, we hope we're not upsetting you." And I was like, dude, like, whatever, it is what it is. If you got somebody to come out, great. If not, we get it. Like, people got lives. We're working on a Sunday, potentially in not the greatest of weather. Not everybody wants to come out. Although right now the weather isn't looking terrible. It's not terrible like normal. It's cooler, cloudy, and potentially a drizzle late afternoon. So we'll see how that all rolls around.
Sounds comfortable to me.
It actually seems like it's going to be a real good year temperature-wise, and I don't want to jinx it.
Everybody bring your rain boots extra just in case.
Yeah, I strongly recommend everybody brings change clothes and change footwear, especially if you're going to be playing in trenches and stuff like that. It's just nice to be able to be done gaming and jump into something clean before you drive home.
100%.
Bug spray. I cannot stress Fly Dope enough, everybody. Bring a can. Bring an extra can, and you'll be a hero.
We are going to have
on your paintball lens.
No.
So staff are bringing some. We're going to have some at the, well, you know how I usually set my truck up there is the stage and portable work area. There'll be some available there. So we are trying to bring extra this year for people that don't, simply because it is kind of an issue. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to be out there getting eaten by mosquitoes or whatever else could be creeping and crawling around the woods.
Look, when I tell people, when people complain about the bugs in the woods, just keep moving. Just keep moving. You'll be fine. If you're like, "Oh, the mosquitoes are attacking me," it's because you're sitting in a hole somewhere. Tisk tisk.
So getting back to your question too, Brad, about game types, we're going to have that domination because we kind of started talking about John. We're going to have domination. We're going to have some capture the flag. Of course, a little elimination. We may in the afternoon do the one that Tom loves here so much, attack the hill. But we have a special idea for that, so you won't have to run down and make your way back up.
Rascals. Yeah. Everybody gets a rascal.
Four-wheelers. We're just going to start shuttling people.
I was going to bring an extra bag with a couple extra tanks and at least another bag of paint. I was going up there fully loaded because I'm not coming down. And I know everybody knows the surrender rules. I'm not there, so I can't speak for anybody else. But Jacob, don't surrender the Moncton. Don't offer to surrender the Moncton boys. Just shoot them. You're one of us now, so you know better. Don't give Kevin that opportunity.
You're not one of these sophisticated Nova Scotianers no more. You're down in the dirt with the Monktonites.
Very well put, Monktonians. But Monktonites is a very
It sounds more beneath beneath us, the Monktonites.
Yeah. Jacob is just better than the rest of us. Jeez.
I mean, Well, I mean, anybody who can custom make their own paintball gun from scratch.
You should see the rig that he has right now. It is mighty cool. It
I can't wait to see it.
it's like a tonfa.
Interesting.
It's like a stick, but it's a paintball gun. It's a terrifying little piece of equipment that Jacob has built. I think he had it last year, but he's refined it. It's really cool. Super accurate because everything Jacob makes is definitely made to work and to clap cheeks.
Yes, and by the time you see it, that's actually like the 10th iteration of it.
So something I may bring someday, except I have no real way of chronoing it, is I got a paintball launcher that hooks up to my compound bow that you see behind me here.
Oh, the air
Bow
bow.
gun. Yep.
Oh my god.
So those things are fun.
I don't think they're even capable of shooting above 290, are they?
No. You're shooting like 210 with these things. And that's even on a compound bow running 70 pounds pressure.
Yeah. You just look really cool doing it.
Yeah, it's not practical, but it is fun.
Amanda just had a stroke. My girlfriend has wants one of those in the worst way because she shoots a bow, and that's the rig, and it's such a cool thing.
But you can't find them anymore. They're like
No.
once again, they're one of those old pieces of technology.
They're from the weird times of paintball. Like they're from the same
like when
era as the
everything was
Q
new and
loader.
adventurous.
The
Yeah.
Q loader.
The Q loader or the rip
Warp feed.
the rip clip. Remember when everyone was mounting the hopper to the side and it was fed up in by a tube? Yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah, that's the Q loaders, the warp drives. There's a bunch of them. The pack loaders. Did you ever actually get to see a pack loader?
I seen one. I got to see
man,
one.
I couldn't imagine running around with a case of paint in my back.
It was I seen one. It was Matt Savageau in Ontario at D-Day, and he had custom built a 4-barrel ion that fired.
That would run it.
Told me about
Right?
that. Yes.
And it was like a whole rig. He pulled the trigger, and each barrel took a turn firing. So it was just like it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
And
we have
Savaggio is a very large. He's a big boy.
He
When
is.
he comes around the corner, you are in the presence of a juggernaut of paintball.
Yeah.
So I could just imagine him strolling around with that thing.
Yeah. So we have 2.5 minutes left. Let's. So Rob, why don't you shout out everybody and anybody you want? You've got 2 minutes and 18 seconds.
All right, I'll keep it quick. First and foremost, there's a question in the comments there about jerseys. Yes, you can still buy jerseys. They take about 4 weeks to manufacture. If you're having problems with the online website, come talk to me at the event and I'll just order you one in person. So shout outs is basically to my staff and refs and to the paintball players. Like my staff, Jeff and Kathy run the barbecue. That's my wife's parents. My wife, major shout out to her because she helps me do all the logistical stuff in the background. All the fancy posts you folks see up on the Paintball for Kids page come from Melissa. Old Rob does things in shorthand and videos because I don't type well and I don't talk well. So she does all the fancy formal stuff. A couple of friends of mine, Wendy and Charlie. Wendy's a paintball player himself. They support the event massively. They make donations to us. Jeff and Kathy make donations to us. Some other friends of the family make donations to us. All my refs, because these folks volunteer their time. They're not getting paid for that day. So John and Justin, mainly, those are my two head refs. They've been with me since day one in Paintball for Kids. They came on just to help me. And then after a couple of years, I was like, you guys, you know what you're doing. Just get to it. And then we have people like, Tucker, Jason, he comes out. We got Michael Park. I'm probably forgetting half a dozen names here, but I mean, there's a lot of folks that just show up and be like, hey, we're here to help. What do you want us to do? And they don't expect nothing. That's the kind of event this is. That's the kind of people we deal with. We also have like all Vic's kids and Vic and himself, Vic and Darth, are actually giving us the field. Let's not kid ourselves. They give us the field and give us a heck of a discount on everything we do up there. And all Vic says is have fun, guys. And that's it. That's all he says.
He
And
kind of reminds me of an East Coast version of Dave Pitts.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can. I mean that in the obviously the nicest and highest of compliments to both of them, because Dave is a savage with those flip flops, and Vic has been doing this so long that just listen to Vic. Just listen to him. He knows what he's talking about.
He has a good story from time to time, but he knows his stuff.
Do it, Bradley.
Yeah, so that's it, folks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I have to end that there. We've got like 6 seconds. So check it out. If you're going to be in the area, come out to Paintball for Kids. It's going to be fantastic. And Rob, thank you so much for coming on. for everyone who's been in the comments, liking, sharing, and all that stuff. And for those folks listening out there at 97.9 CHSR FM, we truly, truly appreciate it. So thank you so much, folks. And until next week, cheers.